Hi everyone, today we are going to talk about our last day on our 4-day Royal Caribbean Utopia of the Seas cruise. Now this is the day that we went to Royal Caribbean's private island, which is Perfect Day at Coco Cay. And we'll talk about how we spent that day and also talk about the excursion that I purchased, which was for the adults only area at Hideaway Beach. And I'll talk about whether I thought it was worth the $60-ish price tag per person. Now, before we go any further, I want to introduce myself. My name is Jonna, and at Blue Coach Travel, we talk about ocean cruising and all things Disney. Plus, give you tips to have a successful vacation. Make sure to hit that subscribe and the bell notification so you know when we bring out new content. Now, our day started off with breakfast, and we decided to try the Solarium Bistro. Now they have a buffet much like the Windjammer. In fact, the items were just the same. It's just in a much smaller scale, and it is not nearly as many people. So it was very easy to grab our breakfast, find somewhere to eat it, and enjoy it pretty much very quickly and peace and quiet. And they even had the made to order omelet station as well. So win-win. After breakfast, we headed down to deck 2 to the galley to disembark the ship. And there was a little bit of a walk to the island, but it wasn't bad. And it was, the beginning of the day, so it really wasn't much of a big deal. And right when you get there, there is a play area. And they also had some wheelchairs and strollers that were available that had wheels that allowed you to maneuver them through sand. So the first thing we did was hop on a tram to take us over to the Hideaway Beach. Now there was only 2 ships that were docked at Perfect Cay for that day. Our ship, and then there was a celebrity ship as well. And I'll have a picture here of both of them together. Utopia is the very large ship. You know that it is. It's the second largest. However, you don't really realize how large it is until you see it next to another ship. My husband made the comment, he said, it looks like our ship could eat the other one. It was very large. And that front part there was the solarium that I talked about before, which was the adults only area, and that's where we had breakfast in the bistro there. So we made our way to Hideaway Beach, and we just had to show our ship card to the crew members as we were entering, and that was pretty much, they could see that we had purchased that as an excursion, and we were able to enjoy that area for the day. It was super nice. There was plenty of space available, and that is one reason that I chose to purchase this excursion, is because I have done a private island before, and we were a group of 6 of us, 3 couples, and we had waited a little bit later to get off the ship, but by the time we got there, everything was just full, and there was only 1 ship that was docked there for the day, but I think absolutely everybody on the ship must have gotten off because everything was full. There was not a lounger available. We didn't spend much time there because really to even get a seat, we would have had to take a really long hike down the beach. So we pretty much decided to just kind of walk around a little bit and then turn around and go back to the ship. So I really didn't want a repeat of that. So I did decide to purchase this excursion so that we would hopefully not have a big crowd. And I was definitely right. There was plenty of space available. Our lounger was right next to the water, so very easy access to get in and get back and just hang out. We also had nearby, there was a bar, there was a restaurant, there was a place for complimentary drinks, and also a restroom. So we had everything right by us, everything that we would have needed. Just a little farther down the walkway, there was an area where you could get towels. So this is a really big thing to remember. You don't have to bring towels from the ship, and you certainly don't have to pack them for your cruise. So you can just go to the stand, pick up your towels for the day, show them your ship card, and make sure you show them when you return so they know you returned your towels. And just a little bit farther down was a pool with a swim-up bar, and we got there pretty early in the day. I want to say it had to have been before 9 o'clock. And so that bar area was pretty quiet. Not a whole lot of people there. They did have some volleyball nets. They had a DJ area that we'll talk about in a little bit. And then they had some tables kind of in the middle of the pool, where people can gather and just hang out. Now, like I said, it was pretty quiet in the morning, but that changed quite a bit in the afternoon. So that's something to keep in mind. If you really want to enjoy that and not have a lot of loud music playing, then you want to catch that area earlier in the day and then maybe go back to the beach later in the afternoon. But if you want that really party atmosphere, that is definitely the place to go. Now for lunch, we actually went over to outside of the Hideaway to what's called the Chill Grill. And that is part of the area where you don't have to pay or get an excursion to get into. And we went there because our waiter at the restaurant, the main dining room, the night before, had asked if we were planning on going to Coco Cay. Now, I do have to eat gluten-free, so they had been helping me all week to be able to order ahead of time so that they could make sure they could prepare something that I could safely eat. And this was no exception. So they asked if we were planning to go to Coco Cay. And they asked me what I would want to eat, and they told me to go to the Chill Grill, let them know who I was, what my room number was, and that I had pre-ordered, basically. So of course they did have something ready for me, or they prepared for me, and I was completely surprised when our head waiter from the main dining room is the person who delivered it to me. I thought that was great. Just awesome. Great service. On the way back, we did check out the beach, that is the included beach. And also there was some shopping too, where you could buy some souvenirs, or maybe if you forgot something like sunscreen, that type of thing, that was available there too. And then we just hopped on the tram, took a couple of minutes, and went back and hung out at the Hideaway Beach for the rest of the day. Now, when it was time to leave, from the tram stop to the ship, there is available transportation if it's something that you need. Otherwise, it was another just quick walk back to the ship. Now, since this was our last day aboard, this evening was pretty chill. We did not have a whole lot planned. We thought we would go to the comedy club, but we ended up not getting there, and I'll explain later why. So when we got back to our room, it was the last day, and one thing that we needed to do was make sure that we were ready to be able to get off the ship. Usually there is a debarkation talk that the cruise director usually puts on. It can be in person, or it can be recorded, or both. And you are able to watch it on your stateroom television. So that's what I did when we got back from Coco Cay, is to watch that debarkation talk. Even though we have debarked from a ship many, many times, I would definitely recommend doing that, because times or processes might be different for different cruise lines, for different ships. So it's always good just to take a few minutes and review that. So packed everything up, and one thing that you'd want to do, unless you want to carry your luggage in the morning, is to put your big suitcases out for the night. Now make sure that you keep all those necessary items. So basically all that carry-on that you brought onto the ship, you want to bring off of the ship. You want to make sure you have clothes for the evening, pajamas to go to bed, toothbrush to brush your teeth, and then what you'll need to change into for the next day and to get ready for the next day. But also your important things, your medication, your passport, all of your identification, wallets, everything like that. You want to make sure that you are taking that with you, that you are keeping that and going to be walking that off the ship, because you're going to need those things. You don't want to be that person walking off the ship in your pajamas because you forgot to keep out a change of clothes. So dinner that evening was in the main dining room, and then it was the first night of Thursday night NFL football. So my husband wanted to try to catch some of the game. So we went to Playmakers, and not only were they showing it in the mini TVs that are in that sports bar, but they were also showing it on the big screen in the Aqua Theater because there was not a show there that evening. So they were showing the football game there. We had planned on going to the comedy show that night, but truthfully, we were just wiped out from the day. So we basically made it to halftime of the football game and we were off to bed. Now to answer the question, was it worth the $60-some per person for the Hideaway Beach? And I absolutely think it was. Just to have the room and space that was available to be able to enjoy the beach, the pool, it was definitely worth it. So that wraps up our perfect day at Coco Cay. Hopefully you learned something and enjoyed today's video. Make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye everyone.